Okay, so you're here to cut through all the noise and get right to the good stuff.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what we're doing today with a deep dive into this.
Inspiring book.
It really is an inspiring book. Jamia Wilson's Young, Gifted, and Black.
Yeah, think of this as your fast track ticket to understanding the power of this collection.
Right.
We want you to walk away feeling like you've met these incredible people in the book and to really get why this book is making such a huge impact, especially on young readers.
Yeah, and the full title kind of tells you a lot, right?
Yeah.
Young, Gifted, and Black. Meet 52 Black heroes from past and present.
Yeah, that title packs a punch.
It really does.
It's like an echo of Nina Simone's song,
Mm-hmm.
a celebration of Black youth and talent.
Right.
And Jamia Wilson, the author, and Andrea Pippins, the illustrator,
Yes.
have put that same energy of celebration into every single page.
And their mission is so clear, right?
Yes.
To open up the world of possibility for all children. And especially to ensure that Black children see themselves in stories of greatness.
Absolutely.
They've even said that so powerfully, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can't see it, you can't be it.
It's so true.
It just gets to the core of why representation is so important.
Yeah, and the illustrations in this book,
Yeah.
Andrea Pippin's dynamic and colorful illustrations,
Mm-hmm.
they're key to making these stories really engaging
Right.
and accessible for young minds.
Yes.
The visuals just add this extra layer of connection to these heroes.
And it brings up this crucial point
Yeah.
that for too long, children's literature hasn't fully represented the rich and diverse stories of Black individuals.
Yeah, and this book directly addresses that gap.
Right.
It creates a space to introduce these young readers to all of these amazing Black figures
Mm-hmm.
whose contributions they might not have seen otherwise.
Now, for a young reader picking up this book, how is all this information presented?
It's not a dense read at all.
Okay.
Each of the 52 heroes has their own spread, 1 or 2 pages. Just a quick, impactful story about their life and, of course, one of Pippin's illustrations.
And these individuals come from all different walks of life and different eras.
Exactly. It's intentional. The book features people from different historical periods
Right.
and from countries all over the globe,
Mm-hmm.
showing just how widespread Black achievement is.
But it's not laid out chronologically, is it?
No.
What kind of experience do you think that creates for a young reader?
That's such a fascinating choice.
Yeah.
Instead of being linear historical, it lets the reader explore.
Yeah.
There's a Hall of Fame at the end of the book with smaller pictures
Okay.
and page numbers so kids can just jump around
Oh, that's neat.
and discover whoever grabs their attention.
So it's like a treasure map.
Exactly like a treasure map.
I love it.
It encourages them to learn in a more organic way.
Okay, let's talk about some of these amazing people that you'll encounter in this book. It's
Yeah.
such a diverse group.
It is. You'll meet people like Martin Luther King Jr., whose fight for civil rights continues to shape the world.
Still to this day.
Absolutely.
And then you've got Nelson Mandela,
Yes.
whose struggle against apartheid in South Africa just had global resonance.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just, leaders in politics and activism, though, was it?
No, it wasn't.
The book also celebrates athletes.
It does.
That's true.
You'll find Serena Williams in there,
Of course.
a name synonymous with excellence in tennis,
Absolutely.
and Jesse Owens, whose triumphs at the Olympic Games were just this powerful challenge to prejudice.
And the contributions of artists and musicians are in there, too,
Of course.
which is so important.
Yeah, you'll meet Nina Simone.
Oh, wow.
Her voice was so powerful.
Such an icon.
And then there's Stevie Wonder,
Of course.
a true musical icon.
Yes.
The book also highlights scientists and thinkers.
Mm-hmm.
It really shows the intellectual power and innovation in the Black community.
Right.
You'll learn about George Washington Carver.
Okay.
He did this groundbreaking work with plants that changed agriculture.
Wow.
And Katherine Johnson, the brilliant NASA mathematician,
Yeah.
her calculations were vital to the success of space missions.
So cool.
Yeah. And it's not just historical figures.
Right.
You'll see people like Barack and Michelle Obama.
Oh, yeah.
Their time in the White House was just this huge moment in history.
It really was.
And Oprah Winfrey,
Oh, yeah.
a cultural force with her media empire and her philanthropy.
It just shows you that Black excellence isn't limited to one field.
It really doesn't.
It's this huge variety of areas represented in the book.
Yeah.
Politics, sports, art, science.
You name it.
And it shows the vast scope of Black contributions to society.
Absolutely. And by showing both the historical and contemporary figures,
Right.
the book creates this amazing sense of a living, evolving legacy. It's not just history, it's a continuing thread of impact.
Okay, so we've met some of these people.
Yeah.
Let's explore what they actually did.
Yeah.
Like the actions that made them so inspiring.
Yeah, the book really excels at that. It presents these accomplishments in a way that just clicks with young readers.
Right.
It focuses on the impact of their work.
Okay, so can you give me some examples of those impactful actions?
Sure, one that comes to mind is Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
Just her incredible bravery and how clever she was
Right.
as a conductor on the Underground Railroad.
It's an amazing story.
It is. She led all of these enslaved people to freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is Mae Jemison,
Okay.
breaking barriers as the first African-American woman in space.
Oh, that's so inspiring.
Yeah, those are just two examples.
And I imagine these stories are told in a way that young minds can easily grasp.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're not overly complicated.
No, the language is really clear.
All right.
It just focuses on their actions and why those actions were important. It gets
Yeah.
to the heart of what they did in a way that kids can understand.
Yeah. And the book also talks about the challenges that these individuals faced,
Yeah.
which feels so important
Yeah.
to understanding their journey.
It really shows you that these people overcame so much adversity.
Right.
Like, for example, Mallory Blackman.
Right.
It took over 80 rejections
Wow.
for her to get her first book published.
Oh, my.
But she kept at it.
Oh,
It
wow.
shows you how much she persevered.
That puts her success in a whole new light.
Yeah, it does.
80 rejections.
And then you have George Washington Carver.
Okay.
He wasn't allowed to go to college at first just because of his race.
Oh, wow.
But he didn't let that stop him.
Yeah.
He became this amazing scientist and teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So these examples show young readers that they can overcome obstacles
Right.
and that those obstacles don't have to stop them from achieving their dreams.
Okay, so beyond the individual stories, what are some of the big ideas or lessons that a young reader can take away from this book?
No, one of the most powerful themes is resilience and perseverance.
Mm.
As you read, you see all these people facing so many hurdles,
Right.
systemic racism, discrimination, personal hardships.
Yeah.
But they refuse to be defined by that.
Right, they didn't let it defeat them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about that strength, that refusal to give up, even when things are so hard.
Mm.
The book shows in a way that kids can get
Right.
that doing great things means overcoming problems and learning from setbacks.
Yeah, and that's such an important message for young people.
Absolutely.
They're going to encounter so many challenges in their lives.
They are.
Another big idea the book emphasizes is the importance of representation and role models.
Yes, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, if you can't see it, you can't be it.
So true.
And especially for children,
Yeah.
seeing someone who looks like them doing great things
Mhm.
can be so powerful.
Really can.
It helps them feel like they belong,
Absolutely.
and it shows them what they can achieve.
It makes anything seem possible.
Like those dreams that feel so far away
Yeah.
suddenly feel closer.
Yeah, like they can actually reach them.
And Jamia Wilson and Andrea Pippins have talked about this book as a love letter to their ancestors and to young Black people who will change the future.
It's a beautiful way to put it.
And by showing this history, they're helping kids be more confident
Absolutely.
and have a strong sense of who they are.
Yeah. And finally, the book celebrates the diversity of Black achievement.
Yes, it does.
It shows all these amazing things that Black people have done in so many different fields,
Right.
from science to art, from sports to activism. It helps you understand Black culture and its impact on the world in a much deeper way.
Yeah, and it gets rid of those narrow stereotypes
It does.
and shows how talented Black people are and all the things they've contributed. It really helps you appreciate the impact of Black individuals on our world.
Yeah, it does.
So if this book sounds interesting to you, are there other similar titles that you might want to check out?
There are some great ones.
Sure.
Jamia Wilson wrote another one called Young, Gifted, and Black, too,
Okay.
with another 52 inspiring stories.
It's like a part 2.
It is. And for younger kids, there's Baby, Young, Gifted, and Black,
Okay.
with 18 heroes for little ones.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's something for different ages.
Mm-hmm.
What about books by other authors?
There's a really good one called Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History by Vashti Harrison. It tells the stories of 40 amazing Black women
Right.
with beautiful illustrations and short biographies.
So similar to Young, Gifted, and Black.
Yeah, very similar. And there are a few people who are in both books,
Oh, wow.
like Mary C. Cole, Katherine Johnson, and Nina Simone.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's cool to see how different authors tell their stories.
And Vashti Harrison also wrote a book about men, right?
Yeah, it's called Little Legends, Exceptional Men in Black History.
Okay.
And another one that comes to mind is The ABCs of Black History by Rio Cortez.
Okay.
It's a more poetic way of looking at Black history.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and there's so many more books like these coming out.
Yeah.
It's great to see.
It seems like there's a real need for these stories.
Yeah.
And people want to see more diverse role models in the books that children are reading.
Yeah, and some books, like Little Leaders, focus on a specific topic like gender.
Right.
But Young, Gifted, and Black is broader.
Mhm.
It includes men and women from all different fields and time periods.
Right.
But they all have the same goal to inspire young readers with these stories of Black achievement.
Let's talk about the author for a minute.
Yeah.
Jamia Wilson.
Yes.
What's her background?
She's a really accomplished American writer, activist, and editor.
So-
She was born in 1980,
Mm-hmm.
and she has a master's degree from NYU.
Oh.
And she's done a lot of work to get more women's voices heard in media.
So her work has always been about representation and equality.
Yeah, it has.
Okay.
Right now, she's a vice president and executive editor at Random House.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
And before that, she worked at Feminist Press.
Yeah, all of that experience with activism and fighting for equality probably had a big impact on her vision for Young, Gifted, and Black.
It makes sense
Yeah.
that she's so passionate about justice and representation.
Mm.
And we talked about how Nina Simone's song inspired the book.
Yeah.
But she's also written other books for young people,
She has.
like Step Into Your Power and Big Ideas for Young Thinkers.
Yes.
And she wrote the introduction for Together We Rise, a book about the Women's March.
She did.
Wow. So her work is all about empowering the next generation
It is.
and making sure that we hear these important stories.
Yeah.
Okay, so to wrap things up, why is Young, Gifted, and Black such a great book?
It's just this amazing introduction to all these incredible Black heroes
Mm-hmm.
from history and from today.
Right.
And it teaches you such important lessons about life,
Yeah.
like being resilient, achieving things even when it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
and the power of seeing yourself in successful people.
Yes.
And it does all that in a way that's really fun and easy for kids to understand.
And of course, the illustrations
Yeah.
by Andrea Pippins.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They make the whole experience more enjoyable and memorable.
They do.
It's really a great book for encouraging kids to dream big and to believe in themselves.
It is.
And it's such a good tool for teaching about Black history,
And
diversity, and inclusion.
It is. It's a must-have for any young person's bookshelf.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As you think about everything we talked about today,
Yeah.
I want you to think about this.
Okay.
Out of all the amazing people in this book,
Mm-hmm.
who really stands out to you
Yeah.
and why?
Good question.
Take some time to learn more about what they did
Yeah.
and the things they had to go through.
Yeah.
What can you learn from their story
Mm-hmm.
about what you can achieve
Yeah.
and the impact you can have on your community?
That's a great point.
And remember, keep learning
yeah.
and exploring.
Absolutely.
There are so many more stories out there
There really are.
just waiting to be discovered.
And so much more to learn about the world.
Yeah, we all have so much to learn.
We do.
It's an amazing journey,
It really is.
and it never ends.
Never ends.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.